Hello and welcome to the second episode of Disha. Disha is a scheme launched by Department of Justice, Ministry of Law and Justice, Government of India. It was launched so that a common man could get easy access to justice. And today we are discussing a very crucial topic, child's rights. Children are the future of our country. And in fact, they are the ones who will take the country to greater heights. So it's very important to discuss child rights, laws related to it, and provisions related to it as well. And to discuss more on this, I've been joined by Mr. Anant Kumar Asthana, child rights lawyer in Delhi High Court. Sir, a very warm welcome to the show. And also Ms. Nimisha Srivastav. She is Executive Director, Council to Secure Justice. A very warm welcome to the show. Ma'am, I would like to begin with you. Now, in a country like India, we have 1/3 of population which is under the age of 18. So it's very important to discuss child rights, and with such a population of children, we can say that we are the youngest country in the world. So it's very important to discuss child rights. So tell our viewers about the significance of child rights and why one should know it.
I think the significance of child rights is there because we love our children, and these are our children that are going to take forward this country and this earth of ours. And children are special. They are brave and resilient.
Indeed.
But they are also not able to express themselves with the full amount of confidence and articulation that an adult would.
Okay.
Right? And that is exactly why you need child rights as apart from human rights. Of course, every person in this country has rights that the constitution of the country, awards to them. But children, and the Constitution of India also mentions about the tender age of children. And there is a tenderness, there is an innocence.
Yeah.
And that innocence might not always be in the obvious ways that we think, but they are building themselves up. And in that process, they are building our nation up, our society up as well. So it is literally the building blocks of our future that children are. And we need to listen to them and understand them and really recognize, their own special I think behaviors, as well as the areas where they need more care, more protection as compared to adults. And that is why we need to think about child rights. And also in the sense that we don't think of them as beneficiaries. We don't think of them as, like hum kuch de rahe hain unko, right? Like we are giving them, like it's charity. No. We need to think of themselves as rights holders.
Definitely.
That
they hold
education,
a different position in the society.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Education, health, having a name, having an identity, having a citizenship, those are rights of children. Every child deserves to go to school, to play, to have a loving family, to have a wonderful culture and follow that. So we need to make sure that
and a good
all
health
of our
as
children,
well.
absolutely good health, good life. So we need to make sure that all of our children have access to those rights, and for that we need to build systems and communities which are strong enough to make sure that each child is enjoying these rights.
Definitely. Mr. Srivastava, do you agree to the fact that children also should know about their rights? What we've just discussed is the very fact that adults should know about what the child rights are.
Absolutely, children should absolutely know about their rights.
How do you think it will happen?
I think we have made some progress in that direction. I think now more and more schools are creating some sort of legal literacy programs. Say, for example, I work on the area particularly of child sexual abuse. So we have, this concept called safe touch and unsafe touch.
Yes.
That a child should know when someone is, touching them inappropriately or making them feel uncomfortable, because we know that child sexual abuse is such a thing that there is a huge power dynamic involved when there is an adult person who's way more powerful than you, who's doing something to you or
Correct.
making you do something which you do not really want to do. The child often doesn't realize that they have the right to say that no, don't do this to me. They have the right to run away, ask for help, tell their parents about it, and the right to be believed by their parents also, So these are things that children need to be told about. So I think we need to find more and innovative ways of talking to our children, use technology, because there are now more and more youngsters who are getting good access to technology. So use it in all the positive ways that we can, and make sure that children, when their rights are violated, know for a fact that their rights are being violated and they can do something about it. Yeah.
Definitely. And Mr. Anant, what are your views on this?
I think in continuation of what Nimisha has said, I think at the core of the strengthening of child rights is how effectively we listen to children, right? It's one thing.
Listening is very important.
Listening is very important because
what they actually want to convey.
Right. Unless they feel comfortable in sharing.
Yeah.
Right. Sometimes you might have seen, people compel children to speak up.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
That doesn't work, because if child is not speaking up, there is something which child is not comfortable with.
Or perhaps the child is hiding something.
Yes. No. That quite also be possible.
Yes,
Why
yes.
child is hiding? Because child is not trusting.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So we have to recognize those barriers which stop children from opening up and being comfortable with wherever they are. I think that's at the core.
Okay. Having said that, Mr. Anand, it is government's duty to take care of children. So tell our viewers something about what are the laws, what are the acts, when it comes to children, and how they are benefiting children.
Right. So one thing is that 1/3 population of our country is of children. Right. That's one. The sheer number is enough for any government to take care of it. Forget the fact that they are future. Just keep in mind that they exist. Right. That itself is sufficient for any government to take care. Now, how does government takes care of children is by recognizing their interest, by converting them into laws which create very tangible duty on the state machinery. For example, recognizing that children need to be in school and not be working in some factory, that's important. Recognizing that keeping children safe is state's duty, and if wherever state fails, compensating them, right? Recognizing that when children do not have care and protection, state will come forward and give that care and protection. So for example, if there are children on the street, there has to be some law which creates a duty on the district administration to come forward and find a place for these children to live.
Correct.
Find a way to give them good quality of food, find a way to give them into education. So we have plethora of laws which have been created, right? The recent being these 3 criminal law amendments.
Yes, yes.
Even though the word sounds like criminal law, but within criminal law there are several protections, several rights, several benefits of children.
Definitely, this certainly needs to be told, because people understand that if there are 3 new criminal laws,
there's nothing for children.
Yes, exactly, and they are just meant for crimes. Something related to crime.
Right.
But they don't know under these laws are the benefits for children, benefits for women, and benefits for persons with disabilities, benefits for senior citizens as well.
Yes.
Do you want to throw some light on that?
See, I'm very happy to do that. I will just give you a few examples. For different sections in the Indian Penal Code, the age of the child was different. Right. Now that controversy has been put to an end, and it has been clarified that anybody who is below the age of 18 years shall be treated like a child. That's one thing. Second, that the compromise, the plea bargaining, the option of plea bargaining in criminal cases, criminal offences, against children is no more available.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So accused people cannot stand up in the court and enter into a plea bargaining arrangement
Correct.
if the offence relates to children. Third, the structuring of the laws is such that now all these provisions related to women and children have been put into at one place.
Okay.
Earlier they were all scattered throughout the legislation, condensed,
Okay.
clarified,
all right.
and wherever there is there are some issues where there was doubt. At some places we even see that the doubts have been cleared.
All right,
Where
all
there
right.
were two views, those views have been cleared. You know.
All right.
At this point of time, we will not go into technical details.
Definitely.
But apart from this criminal law, we also have several other laws. For example,
I very much understand. Yeah. Mr. Vastava, you wish to add something to it?
I think from just sort of taking off from what Anant was saying, I'm very glad to see this clarification of a child being any person under 18 years of age. And one interesting provision also is that the category of transgender has also been included.
Yes,
right? Male, female, and transgender.
Yes.
So even for children that would apply, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I think that is a new recognition in law of the rights of transgender children. Which was not there hitherto, and this also makes the the penal code, the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, sort of in harmony with the Juvenile Justice Care and Protection of Children Act 2015, which is the the overarching law for children who are in difficult circumstances. So children who are facing or have faced some abuse, neglect, that sort of thing, a category called children in need of care and protection.
Yes.
Or children who have, who are accused of having broken some law, who are called children in conflict with law. So that is an overarching law for recognizing children in difficult circumstances and providing for their rehabilitation. So now this definition of child brings the penal code in harmony with the Juvenile Justice Act
All right.
and the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act, the POCSO Act,
Yeah.
which is a special
I'll come
law
to
for
that,
children
yeah.
who've been sexually
Yeah.
abused. So I think that's a very that's a good development for sure.
All right, we'll resume this conversation, but right now we are heading for a short break.
चाचा प्रणाम।
प्रणाम।
चाचा ड्यूटी जा रहे हैं, बिटिया का ध्यान रखिएगा।
ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं, आपकी बेटी हमारी बेटी।
जाओ बिटिया।
ओए होए कहाँ चली?
मेरा नाम गीता है। मैं छेड़छाड़ से परेशान हूँ, मेरी मदद कीजिए।
भारत में कई ऐसे कानून हैं जो महिलाओं एवं बच्चों के सशक्तिकरण एवं संरक्षण के लिए बनाए गए हैं। अगर आपको और सहायता की जरूरत है तो कानूनी सलाह के लिए लीगल एडवाइस को चुनें और कोर्ट में वकील के प्रतिनिधित्व के लिए लीगल असिस्टेंस पर क्लिक करें। अगर आपको अब भी किसी मानवीय सहायता की जरूरत है तो आप हमारे इस टेली फैसिलिटेशन सर्विस के तहत IVRS बेस्ड हेल्पलाइन सॉल्यूशन को चुन सकती हैं। इसके लिए आप 14454 डायल करें। धन्यवाद।
नमस्कार, मैं आशीष आपकी किस तरह से सहायता कर सकता हूँ?
मेरा नाम गीता है। मैं छेड़छाड़ से बहुत परेशान हूँ, मेरी मदद कीजिए।
आपके मामले को देखते हुए आपकी बात अपने काउंसलर से कराता हूँ। आप अपनी बात इनसे खुलकर कहिए, इससे आप अपने आप में आत्मविश्वास महसूस करेंगी। इसके पश्चात मैं आपको लॉयर से कनेक्ट करा दूंगा।
लोगों तक न्याय की पहुंच को और आसान करने के लिए न्याय विभाग भारत सरकार की पेशकश न्याय सेतु एकदम गोपनीय और सुरक्षित माध्यम जिसे समाज के सभी वर्गों के साथ साथ खास तौर पर दिव्यांगों, महिलाओं, बच्चों और वरिष्ठ नागरिकों सहित सभी जरूरतमंदों को ध्यान में रखकर डिजाइन किया गया है। न्याय सेतु एक ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म जहां कानूनी जानकारी, टेली लॉ और न्याय बंधु की सभी सेवाओं का है समागम। न्याय सेतु, सभी होंगे अब और सशक्त। न्याय पाने की राह अब होगी आसान।
Welcome back to the second episode of Disha. Today we are discussing child rights. Okay, Ms. Srivastava, there is a very special law for protecting children against, sexual abuse. That's called POCSO Act, which you've just mentioned.
Yes.
So it's significantly improved in the year 2019 and, in 2020 as well. So please tell us, what are the main benefits of this act, which children are getting?
In 2019, there was an amendment to enhance the punishments that has had multiple impacts on the justice system, but definitely one impact that this focus has had is more efficacy in the way POCSO trials are conducted in courts in India. There is a strong system of vulnerable witness depositions. So children are actually provided a space which is separate and comfortable and more child friendly in nature, where they don't have to see the accused at all. Okay. And even the questions are put to them, by the judge during, their testimony. So all of these are recognizing really the kind of harm that the child has experienced and not to re-traumatize and re-victimize the child through the judicial process. There is also something really good called interim compensation, or as you mentioned in 2020, something called special relief that came up, which if a child has an immediate need, then that can be a financial provision for an immediate need to a small monetary amount, and an interim compensation that can be claimed during any point in the trial, even before the trial has ended, because we see that children lose out on education, they have mental health problems, physical health problems. So all of these can really be addressed by the form of interim compensation and ultimately final compensation also, which we have seen a good amount of progress in terms of courts really granting that compensation with alacrity, without too much delay, and the state legal services authorities really processing these disbursal amounts as well with a lot of speed. So we do see a lot of these positive developments through POCSO, and of course a lot of awareness about child sexual abuse, and we do see reporting under POCSO going up, which also shows how more people are reporting, because child sexual abuse, it's a hidden problem. There is a conspiracy of silence around it very often. So now we are seeing more cases of child sexual abuse being reported. So we know that more children, as we spoke about earlier, are becoming aware of their right against this kind of abuse and exploitation. Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Anant, how do you react to the fact that POCSO Act, which is meant to protect children from sexual abuse, has improved significantly in 2019 and 2020? And could you just tell us different provisions of POCSO Act and how it has improved over the years?
Right. So I can remember a few very tangible improvements which were made when a sexual offense happens. The most immediate need the child and the family of the child has is of somebody who will support them in navigating through the journey of legal system, which is considered very difficult for most of the people. When people are asked to come to court, the first expression is, oh my God, I need a lawyer, right? Yeah. So then in 2020, this mechanism of support person was significantly enhanced. The support person was already there, but reporting of support person, confidentiality, the duty of support person to maintain confidentiality, monitoring of their work, all these areas were paid more attention, so that the institution of support person becomes more meaningful for a child. There was apparently a great focus paid on lot of sexual abuse which happens online.
Yeah.
Because a lot of life of individuals, not just children, even individuals' life has moved into social media spaces, Facebook, WhatsApp, all kind of Instagram, a lot of human interactions are happening.
Indeed.
And a lot of criminal offences are being committed in those spaces. For children it's a very difficult unknown territory, though the access is very easy. In terms of pornography, that 2019 amendment in the POCSO Act brought little bit focus on that. Of course, there is a vast territory which has to be undertaken now,
I understand.
but at least there was a beginning made in 2019.
Okay.
Right?
Now, sir, we were just discussing that 3 new criminal laws that have been recently incorporated. Can you elaborate that what's there in these 3 criminal laws for children and their welfare?
Right. So as we discussed before also, first misconception which must be removed at the very threshold is that these criminal laws have nothing to do with children, because everything is related to crime, criminal, right? It's not that. A lot of these laws are related to children. Earlier, the provisions related to children were scattered through entire law. Now, at least in the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, which is the new version for the Indian Penal Code, now there is a effort to consolidate these offences at one place. Similar effort is visible in the Criminal Procedure Code, which is now Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Sanhita, where an effort has been made to consolidate the entire frame of laws related to women and children at one place. Now, what is the impact of this consolidation? It makes it very easy and very smooth navigation for people who have to use this law. They can be citizens, they can be police officers, they can be lawyers, they can be judges, they can be children as well, right? These are some of the efforts which have been made in the new criminal law. Then there are very serious aspects also. For example, plea bargaining. Plea bargaining is not allowed in criminal offences. Earlier there was some provisions which were redundant. For example, there was a provision in the section 27 of Criminal Procedure Code where a child who has been alleged to have committed an offence could also be tried in a court, in a criminal court.
Okay.
Under the new JJ Act, it's not possible, right? So there was a need to remove that provision. Now that provision has been removed, so that the confusion is out. These kind of efforts have been made in the new criminal law in terms of evidence, which is see there are several provisions which will benefit everybody, right? For example, if you look at the Bharatiya Sakshya Adhiniyam, which is Evidence Act, now the definition of record and document has been altered to allow digital copies of records to be considered.
Definitely. Many things have been added and many things have been removed to make these laws a great success. Now, Mr. Srivastava, laws are made and executed, for the general public. And tell our viewers about what are the ways through which general public can contribute to make these laws a success.
Since we are discussing child rights and children, so I will confine my answer to children. I think one very important way that general public, all of us, can really contribute to making sure that these laws meant for children, meant for enhancement of child rights, actually do perform their function, is first of all, I think, increasing our awareness of them, and then acting on the awareness that we gain and holding the systems accountable. We as citizens have a duty to understand the rights that are given, that are there for us in the laws, and stake a claim to these rights. So when a child tells their mother or parent or anyone in their family that I think that this person in my school, they are doing something strange to me. So it is then our responsibility to first of all listen to the child, make sure that you are providing that child a comfortable space, that they think that they are trusted and believed, and then ensure that you are aware that there is a POCSO Act which you can access. Go to the police station and file a complaint.
All right, very quickly, sir, very quickly, how do you react to it?
See, I will remind our viewers about one handicap which children have, right? That is that children are not voters.
Okay.
Right? They cannot vote. So it's a large population, but apparently because of their inability to vote, they become invisible.
Okay.
Now that makes it duty of adults to prioritize interest of this significant section. If not adults, then children themselves cannot do it for themselves. So reach out to your member of parliament, reach out to your legislator, reach out to your Vidhayak, and when you reach out to them, please do bring up issues regarding access to school. There is a water clogging, children cannot go to school.
Okay.
Now Vidhayak is not going to listen because children do not have a vote, but adults should reach out to Vidhayak and say, listen, open up the school, right? So adults have to assume that duty to speak for children.
Definitely, you have rightly put it here. It is very important to know about child rights for the welfare of children, for the welfare of society, and for the welfare of the country. That's all in this episode of Disha. We'll meet you in the next episode with a different topic. Thank you so much, our esteemed guests, for coming onto the broadcast today and giving your valuable inputs. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.